morning, Patriot High School. I'm Gabby Flores.
And I'm Logan Russell.
Here in the United States, there are many great charities to which we can donate time, resources, and goods, but few are as dedicated to protecting and supporting children as UNICEF.
The United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund was established on December 11, 1946, in order to meet the emergency needs of children in post-war Europe and China, but stand today to provide humanitarian and developmental aid to children in more than 190 countries.
UNICEF is always accepting donations from anyone willing to pitch in and help them give less fortunate children a chance to follow their dreams. Their donations are widely used in giving children protections in violent areas, clean water, and the opportunity to turn their dreams into a reality, so that the children can grow up and make the world a better place.
Here at Patriot, the UNICEF Club participates in various activities to raise awareness to issues impacting the health, wellness, and safety of children worldwide. Last year, UNICEF Club sponsored a water walk, which challenged students to carry water through various obstacles over significant distances, which at first may seem like a fun time.
But the mission of this event was to help Patriot students understand that the availability of clean drinking water is not something that can be taken for granted. In 2019, nearly 900 million people are living without access to clean drinking water and sanitation.
Our UNICEF Club is a local chapter of a larger network, and their collective efforts benefit international projects to improve the living conditions of children all over the globe. Last year alone, fundraising efforts from UNICEF clubs like ours raised enough money to purchase and administer 2.4 billion life-saving vaccines.
If you're interested in learning more about UNICEF or getting involved, speak to a faculty sponsor or any of the members of the UNICEF Club.
Hi, I'm here with
Melanie.
What have you ever heard of UNICEF?
Yeah, it's like a club at Patriot that's like based on a charity.
Have you ever had to go without water, food, or any other necessity for any period of time?
No, like I'm not religious or anything, so I don't like fast or do anything like that.
Do you think that students are aware of how many people are living globally in conditions that we in our community would consider unlivable?
No, I think people in like Bristow and Knoxville area are kind of like living nice, and they don't really think about like people in other countries that are like struggling, or even people in like America that are struggling.
Yeah. Why do you think it is important to give your time, resources, or money to charities that work to improve living conditions at home and abroad?
Because like you never know what other people have to go through on a daily basis, and until like you're in someone's shoes, like you're never gonna understand that. So at least like try to help like their situations.
I'm here with
James Johnson.
All right, James, do you know what UNICEF is?
Yes, I've heard of it, but I don't know like what activities they do or like anything about them. So,
All right, do you know, have you ever had to go through life without food, water, or any other necessity for an extended period of time?
no, I've had plenty of food and water throughout my life, so I've never like had to go through those like conditions like having like no food or water. So,
Do you think pioneers are aware that people globally are living in conditions that we would consider unlivable, and how many there are?
yeah, I think our school is pretty well educated. Now, I don't think people do much to like change that, like volunteer hours or donations, but yeah.
And why do you think it is important to give your time, energy, or money to charities that help improve the living conditions of people at home or abroad?
Well, I think it's important to give your time to at least help out the cause abroad, because there are people in this world that like don't have food or water, and they need all the support they can get. So,
I'm here with
Chase.
All right, Chase, do you know what UNICEF is?
I've heard about it, but I don't really know what they do.
All right. UNICEF is basically a charity for children. Have you ever had to go without water, food, or any important resource in your life for an extended period of time?
I mean, no, not really. If you don't count fasting for wrestling, that'd be it. So.
All right. And do you think pioneers understand how important it is how important it is that people outside of the United States and globally live in conditions we consider unlivable?
Not really. I mean, we're educated on it, but I don't think that they take it to heart, basically. So.
All right. And how important do you think it is and why is it important to give money or time or energy to charities to help improve the conditions of people at home or abroad?
Because everyone deserves an equal chance, and everyone basically deserves a way for life and equal living conditions.
I'm here with.
George Kessler.
All right, George. Do you know what UNICEF is?
Yes.
All right. What is it?
It's a charity that helps, I believe, particularly children in need, but just people in developing countries who don't have a lot.
All right. Have you ever had to go without food, water, or any other important resource in your life for an extended period of time?
No, never.
Never?
Never.
And do you think pioneers have an idea of how people in the world live in conditions we would consider unlivable?
Well, I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but I feel like the majority of people in this school, even if they have an idea, you can't really know about things like that until you've experienced them.
All right. And why do you think it's important to give money or your time or resources to charities that help improve the world and living conditions for people at home or at abroad?
Well, we just have so much in this area that a lot of people take for granted, and I think it's important to kind of pay it forward and spread that around.
I'm here with.
Mr. Kessel.
All right, Mr. Kessel. Do you know what the UNICEF is?
Yes, it's a United Nations program to support families and children around the world who are in poverty.
All right. And have you ever had to go without food, water, or any other necessity for an extended period of time in your life?
Not necessarily an extended period of time. We have had like during a hurricane, and then we were without power and stuff for a while, so we were a little bit limited. But that's not like actually being without food or without water for an extended period of time.
All right. And do you think pioneers understand how people outside in the world are living in conditions that we would consider unlivable?
I think some of them are, and I think a lot of our students really are starting to be more aware of what's going on around in the world. I was when I was stationed in the Air Force, one of the places we were stationed with was in Panama. And so we saw firsthand how certain countries didn't have the basic necessities. So we would go out into the jungles of Panama and try to provide food and shelter and Christmas presents and things like that to students. You would have, their school was a one-room building where the cafeteria was an open fire outside. And you just saw how rough their living conditions were, but they were still happy because they didn't know any better.
All right. And why do you think it's important to give your time, your resources, or your money to charities that help improve the conditions of people at home or abroad?
I think it's important just because we are all humans, and it's just so good to help others, to get them to have the basic necessities that they need. It makes you feel good, and it's just part of what we should be doing as people around the world.
And now for your regular announcements. Seniors, it's time to get your baby picture in the yearbook. From now until February 15th, grab a form and drop your picture and $20 in the main office. Don't miss out. See Miss Eaton with any questions.
Seniors, the yearbook staff will be available during all lunches on Wednesday, February 5th and Friday, February 7th. To approve your senior photo or choose a pose if you still need to, see Miss Eaton with any questions.
Purchase a Valentune for your Valentine. Singing Valentines will be on sale during all lunches February 3 to 6 for $5. Senders should know the recipient's schedule at the time of purchase. Valentunes will be delivered on Friday, February 14th.
For WPHS-TV, I'm Garrett Sprouse.
And I'm Justin Mason.
And have a great day, Pioneers!